Hello and welcome to chapter 6 of the CLV Revolution. My guest today is part of the Google Partners and he's also the mastermind behind Grow Your Digital Agency. He is an author of Grow Your Digital Agency and Strategy Workbook, as well as Bright Marketing and Customer is King, the latter being forwarded by Sir Richard Branson himself. In today's episode, we're going to talk about chapter 6, who buys what and why. We're going to touch the subject that marketers nor customers don't know why they are buying stuff. We're going to touch about the days when I was an optometrist and another very juicy topics. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and this is great. This is talking to Valentin Radu about the book, the CLV Revolution, and now chapter 6, which is kind of the one that I really want to ask you questions about. Who buys what and why? So I guess my starting point is, do people really know what their customers are buying? Are they really buying a car? Are they really buying vitamins? Are they really buying websites? What? Just give me your view on that, Valentin.
Yeah. So Robert, first of all, I don't think the customers know why they are buying stuff. And the marketers don't know why their customers are buying stuff. So nobody knows anything about who buys what and why. And I think this is happening due to the fact that we are mainly irrational, even though we claim that we are data-driven marketers or business owners and whatever. After 20 years in this entrepreneurial rodeo, I still have some aha moments when I realized how stupid I was. And it wasn't like how stupid I was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. It's like last month or so.
Yeah.
And I guess this is happening due to the fact that we're not getting into the root cause of our behaviors. So we are not, let's say, aware about our behavior. We are not having this type of meta observer, right? So to look at how you think, to look at how you decide. And this is happening to marketers as well. And that's not changeable unless you wake up to the actual reality and wake up from the hallucination that you know what you are selling. And as I've stated in chapter 6, it's about going deeper, putting things under the microscope, and actually coming up with the root causes of the customer behavior.
Yeah. So I've been working with clients over the last 2 or 3 months, obsessively talking about what the customer's problem is. It's like the value proposition canvas. What are the jobs to be done? It feels to me that they go, what's the problem we're solving? Oh, the client wants PPC, so we're going to start. But that's not what people want. People, in that instance, for a digital agency, what people want is they want more better customers. And what people seem to fail to do, and I'd love to know why you think this happens. Why don't grown adults, even marketers, why don't they understand that you've got to get to that Monday morning panic feeling in the gut of the customer when they say, I need to get more customers, or I need to be more profitable, or we need to get our brand sorted out. Whatever the problem is, if you're not addressing the problem, then why are people going to respond to you? Why is it that we fail to understand what the customer's real problem is?
Yeah. So Robert, it's a journey, I think, and we are all immature here. I mean, if you remember when we were kids, we thought that the adults had everything sorted out, so they know stuff. But guess what? Here outside there are like 30 degrees in November, where usually there were maximum 10.
Yeah.
And we are breaking the planet without being aware about where the heck are we going. So it's a common denominator that we don't know what we are doing and where we are going. And even though we are business people and entrepreneurs and we have P&Ls and cash flow and whatever, at the end of the day, we are making some stupid decisions which are simply sparks of interest, like let's do advertise on TikTok or whatever. And that's due to the fact that we don't know who we are first and how we are functioning and how the brain is functioning. So mainly that's why in chapter 6 I've been so obsessed about the jobs to be done method, because it's a very simple framework that's allowing anyone to understand, hey, there is something pushing me towards a new solution or a new desired outcome, and there are forces which are pulling me back to the old solution. And basically it's the critical mass in my head that's at some moment the balance is broken, and it's clear that I'm gonna change my phone because my battery is off at 3 p.m. and my kids are always driving me nuts because they say that I don't care about them because I'm leaving them waiting in front of the school. So that's the struggle. It's not about the functionality X, Y, or Z. It's not about the number of how cool is iPhone over another Android phone. It's about the feeling. It's about the struggle. And unless the struggle is so big that it's pushing me towards the new solution, I'm not going to change my behavior. So everyone, I think marketing was, at least in my head, I had such a biased perspective about what marketing truly is. I thought it's about motivation and it's about new things, attracting things, which at the end of the day, I think 95% of the decisions are caused by the pain, either a knowledge pain, physical, mental pain, anticipated regret over not changing your job, your spouse, your whatever. So it's all about the pain. No pain, no gain.
And maybe it's pain, identifying the pain, and message and messaging. I mean, I went to a website the other day for the first time for ages, and it opened up with 8 words, and it was like, oh yes, oh yes, you whoever wrote this totally knows what I'm trying to get sorted out. Once every 3 or 4 years this happens, where you go, I want to buy from you. You have just, in 8 words, explained my struggle and my pain. And if you've got me that right, I'm going to buy from you. So it's as marketers or as people selling, we need to get down to that jobs to be done. And my argument, like yours, is that we're not that dreadful 3-year-old going, why, but why do you need that? But why? So why is that a problem? So what? So we need to understand the problem, but also the message and the messaging's got to be in a way that resonates, that I go, oh my god, she's talking to me, I've got to do that. So the job of the marketer is what we're saying is, 1, figure out what their real hurt, itch, scratch, want, need is. 2, talk to that if this is you. And then 3, the message and the messaging's got to be right for the particular target audience. I dare say that web page that I adored, 5 out of 10 people would have not seen it or felt it or heard it. So it's about about communicating with your addressable market, not with the whole world.
It's a thing that about the context that many marketers or many whatever business people are missing about their own business, which is the context, right? Because the context, it creates the meaning. So for instance, you've said about the Monday morning when you realize, hey, I need more clients, or I need to get on break even at least, so I need to change things. But the context, like when you are connecting to your internet bank account and you look at how's going on over there, or when you are looking in your when you have a chat with your accountant, or when you have a moment of aha, when your kids are asking for some expensive vacation and you are barely making it next month due to the inflation, free clients that you've lost, and whatever. So for a business owner, these are the moments of truth when they realize that I need to change something. I need to do different ad campaigns, or I need to change my agency, or I need to freaking learn about Google Analytics, or I need to understand my customers better. God help that more and more will realize that they don't know their customers, and they will end up applying these principles from this book, because for me it was eye-opening. I've changed this as well, my own business, thanks to the jobs to be done methodology. I realized, hey, I'm selling this piece of software for $300 a month, but I also have this kind of clients that pay us 300,000 pounds a year. So I need to pick my battles. I need to know who are my best customers, and that's also in this chapter about focusing on your best customers, on their pains, on their desires, on their desired outcomes, not on everyone, because you can't serve everyone with the same level of let's say experience and quality. If you are small, or if you are not whatever big huge corporation, you need to pick your battles and to be delivering undeniable value to your customers. If you don't do this, why do you exist at the end of the day? Because you're just the average Joe, right?
And I think everyone also, to your point, everyone thinks, oh, I sell my $300 software, for instance. Now, to one person, it may be worth $300 because they're a one-person business, but that same piece of software in a large organization might be worth to them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so the price, we know the price of a bottle of beer at a supermarket is maybe €1, but in a cafe it's maybe €2, but in a bar it might be €3, but in a restaurant it might be €5, but in Saint-Tropez on the beach it might be €20. Same bottle of beer. So to your point about context, the price, varies according to context. The value varies according to context. Now, I love this idea of understanding. We need to understand context. It's not the bottle of beer. It's not a €1 bottle of beer. It depends who's drinking it and where they're drinking it. If David Beckham is drinking that bottle of beer, it's going to be, the price point's different from me. So I love that. And I also want to, before we close, I want to talk about Net Promoter Score, because I have a problem with Net Promoter Score.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can solve it. My clients come to me and they go, oh, Net Promoter Score, we're so good. We're a 9.2. And you go, so how many clients have you got? And they go, oh, we got 100. And you go, okay, so how many of them filled in the Net Promoter Score? 15 of them. So my point is, 15 of them think you're great, but the other 85 might think you're dreadful. You may be so bad they can't even want to answer you. Now, just give me a moment here. The point is that the customers are really angry in every industry. Customers are fuming. They're really disappointed with the service that most people provide. They're really disappointed with the communication. They really aren't as in love with us that we think we are. And yet people take Net Promoter Score, which I would argue has been used badly, and say, we can relax. Look, the 15 they all love us. Our lovers love us. So just explain where you are on Net Promoter Score.
Yeah. So first of all, Robert, I'm totally with you in this let's say uncertainty. If you don't have enough responses, then you can't rely on something. So I have this experimentation mindset, and when you do an experiment, which your whole experience that you are giving to your customers, it's an experiment. You don't have to look it as the definitive one. You know, that's it. Like we are done. We have the best experience. We have the best products, the best way to ship them, the best packaging, the whatever. So it's an experiment. If you
Yeah.
look at it as an experiment, you also have a hypothesis. And this hypothesis is, if we are going to deliver this kind of experience, most of our customers will be happy about it. They will come back and they will become brand ambassadors. And only if you ask you this question, you will end up scratching your head like, is this the best one? No, I can improve it. So the measure that shows you if the experiment is valid with this hypothesis is NPS if you have enough responses. So that's why you need the statistical significance. Now, if you don't have that, you can't rely on those kind of numbers. And that's why you need to apply to have a response rate is, if you have only 100 people, maybe you will need 45 responses to rely on the fact that it's 92 or whatever. If you have 100,000 responses, customers, then you can rely even on 4,000 or 5,000 respondents, because that's how the statistical significance works, and that's how the p-value needs to be. So that's A. And B, the power of the NPS is also to look at what the detractors are saying, because maybe you have some people which are so fed up with what you're doing that they are not even bothering to respond. I had a client back in the days, their products were so cheap and so bad that people weren't bothering to respond to their surveys and not even return them. They just voted with their wallets and said this brand is total crap. So that's how NPS works.
Okay. And I want to move on then to your view of what I call the canary in the coal mine. So I think every business, we certainly have, I wrote a book, Customer is King. So I really try and get the customer service, the customer experience as best as possible. But we have, I think it's about 4% of our customers who make a lot of observations. I'll put it that way. So every email that goes out, these 4 in 100 will say there should have been a break in the paragraph. You missed out a comma. Every offer we offer, they'll go, you don't make it clear enough whether it's a calendar month or a 4-week month. Anytime we send them an invitation for something, they say, you say at 6 o'clock in the bar, but is that when we start drinking, or do you want us there at 6:15? Now, I love these people because what they're saying to me is, I don't understand your communication. The people who work with me, they hate them, because it's like, it doesn't matter what we do, it's never good enough for them. And more importantly, now those 4 in 100 people, whenever anyone goes to write to them, they're so nervous that they're almost, the communication's almost spooked. If the email's going to go wrong, it'll be to those 4. So what's your view about these obsessively critical people and how you manage them?
Yeah. So I think there is there is something to learn out of everything. So back in the days, I was an optometrist, right? So I was helping people get glasses, and I was helping them to pick them. And one day, one of my colleague came to me, the ones which were in the store in the front. They were customer facing people, and basically I wasn't doing this kind of sales. But she asked me, I can't do it anymore with this lady. Go there, talk to her, because she's driving me nuts. So I stayed there with this lady. She was a doctor. She came back to Romania, and she was interested to buy some expensive pair of glasses. But my colleague offered her like 25 options. But I used this principle to find out why these are not good enough, or why these are not good enough. And I started to apply this choice reduction, because my mission wasn't to sell her a pair of glasses and then have her come back. And she was always saying things like, these are too big, these are too small, do you have rectangle ones, whatever. So I've spent like 90 minutes with this lady. It was like one of my exams of being patient with customers. So at some point, I've managed to get her to only 2 pairs of possible frames that she was after, and basically she picked those ones because I asked her, don't you think you deserve these, because they were like 40% more expensive. Like, and I asked her, what do you do during those 90 minutes? You know, I've started to unveil what's going on with this lady there. Like, she wasn't coming out of nowhere. It was the message to the universe, like, handle this guy. I mean, handle this lady. Let's see what you're gonna do. The end of the story is that she walked away. She came back. She bought me a bottle of expensive perfume and a tie. And I was like 21 years old or something like that. And she said that she never seen such a customer focused, customer centric sales guy ever. But I wasn't hired as a sales guy. And for me, it was like, thanks, whatever. So, but I documented my journey. I talked with my colleagues, which were like bored or frustrated in the back because they were watching, and that was a good example of how we should be handling this kind of difficult customers. Now, if they are rude because they break the boundaries, I think you should fire those customers. I mean,
but in both instances we're talking about, these are clients who the marketing is the promise, and they're saying, we expect from you, a 10 out of 10. We think we deserve a 10 out of 10. Now, my mother has this wonderful line, which is 1-star restaurants, 1-star problems, 5-star restaurants, 5-star problems. And I think a lot of us are trying to deliver really high quality service. So when someone says your communication was too slow, too quick, I guess it's really, I guess we're talking about how you make customers happy. We did a customer survey about communication. I'd love to know your thoughts on this, because some people think we communicate too much and some people think we don't communicate enough. 50% of our customers, exactly 50%, say you communicate too much. Too many newsletters, too many emails, too many WhatsApps, just too many of them. And then 50% of them say you don't communicate enough. It's at the average says we're doing fine. But it's like, if your head's in the oven and your feet are in the deep freeze, the middle of your body is average temperature. So how do we deal with some customers who clearly want lots of attention, some customers who clearly don't want lots of attention, and presumably a rump in the middle?
So I would be looking at, if I have this 50% which say you're over communicating, I would be looking at their open rates, in terms of emails and how they've behaved, because it's something what they are saying and it's another thing how they are behaving. That's one thing. And the second thing that I would be doing is asking another question with an open answer from them, asking them what they would like to change in their communication. I mean, what is important for them to get? Maybe if you have enough, let's say, if you have a good technical solution, do break them into mandatory communication, and they can subscribe on that list. And every day, I don't know, the daily news or whatever you are communicating with them. Basically adjust according to their preferences and give them the illusion of control, like they are controlling the way they are communicating with you. And at the end of the day, it's instead of having a one size fits all, adjust to who they are and what they prefer.
So final question, and then I've got to go. If there's one big golden nugget, one big idea that's in what's clearly the best chapter, chapter 6. It's obviously the best chapter. But if there's one nugget that you'd like me to take away and literally tattoo on my forehead to never forget from chapter 6, what would it be?
Yeah, so Robert, I think the golden nugget is stop assuming and start behaving according to what's in the customer's mind. So that means having enough statistical evidence that that's how you should be behaving, because big companies failed into oblivion because they stopped listening to their customers, and they haven't adapted to the new market conditions. And basically, we do know, I don't know, these stories about the Blockbuster, Thomas Cook, and other companies that are gone now because of that.
Fantastic. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Valentin. It always is a real pleasure, but today was especially a real pleasure. Thank you very much for sharing everything, and see you again soon.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Robert, for this session that we've had together, and thanks everyone for watching. We'll see each other in the next episode when we will talk, of course, about chapter 7 from the CLV Revolution.